We were born in 2003, and we belong to a new generation known as Generation Z.
Generation Z, also known as Gen Z, iGen, Post-Millennials, Founders, Plurals, or Centennials, refers to the generation that was born in the late 1990s and early 2000s, following Millennials. This generation has been raised on the internet and social media. In a world where content and information is increasingly free and shared.
Today's youth are lazy, selfish, and passive. Okay.
The me generation.
Narrow-minded and unambitious. Oh, that's fine.
The most obnoxious and self-entitled.
Willfully ignorant and extravagant generations.
That's not true. That upsets me.
There are a lot of we claim to be lazy, ignorant, dependent, narrow-minded, and passive. But is that all true?
Question 1. Is Gen Z ignorant and passive? No, they are extremely active and talented. What are something special about these pictures? How old do you think these people are?
Yes, they are all Gen Zers, who are children and teenagers from the age of 10 to 23. You and I have to admit that the age of contestants in some talent shows or the leaders of some community projects or even self-made entrepreneurs is getting smaller and smaller. Generation Z is far from being a nerd. To us, studying well is not enough. To us, having a command of different skills such as creativity, collaboration skill, or communication skill is as important as studying at school. And to us, pursuing our own aspiration is worthier than money when deciding on a job. And therefore, we attend summer camp every summer to learn something new and meet new friends. And we want to go apart to step out of our comfort zone. And we even dream of something big. And yeah, we really do it with a lot of efforts.
This is Thomas Suarez, a 12-year-old boy who taught himself how to create video games. After developing iPhone apps like Bastin Jibber, a whack-a-mole game, he is now using his skills to help other kids become developers. Or this little girl named Bông left lots of adults astounded after her appearance on Shark Tank of Vietnam, when she has become financially independent since the age of 8 and was now calling for an investment on her business of selling chè bưởi at the age of 12. Question 2. Is Gen Z narrow-minded? Absolutely not. In fact, we have progressive views and open-mindedness. Thanks to social media, the internet and stuff, we are a very astute group and are in tune with what's going on around us. It's safe to say that many Gen Zers have their eyes wide open to the issues going on in the world and are keen to make a difference. Let's look at some of the data to see this point clearer. In view of same-sex marriage, roughly half of Gen Zers, 48%, say gay and lesbian couples being allowed to marry is a good thing for our society, higher than 47% of millennials, 33% of Gen X, and 27% of boomer. There is a similar pattern in views of people of different races marrying each other and being a single mom, with larger shares of millennials and especially Gen Zers saying this is a good thing for our society compared with older generation.
But, one of voice we may sound, we have to admit that nobody is perfect, and so are we. First, are we hopelessly screen-dependent? There's definitely some truth to this. Generation Z are the first generation to be considered true digital natives, born into a high-tech world where internet is in easy reach. So it's not too surprising that smartphones are absolutely central to our lives. We don't know a world where a smart device is outside of arm's reach. According to Pew Research, only 14% of US adults had access to the internet in 1995. By 2014, that number was 87%. But too often, any conversation related to Gen Z and tech is negative. It's assumed our generation doesn't have communication skills or that our phones are only distractions. Yes, we're spending up to 4.5 hours a day on smartphones. Having 24/7 access to the world's information has rewired how we problem solve, network,
communicate, learn, and buy. Second, are we an anxious and stressed generation? It seems likely there is a greater tendency in our generation to struggle with our mental health. This is supported by one study which found fewer than half of Gen Zers say they are content with their lives compared to 60% of millennials, and 67% of millennials believe that their life is full of purpose, compared to only 53% of Gen Z. In fact, our generation reports enduring more extreme stress than other generations, and overall 58% say they are at least moderately stressed, which is a really telling number. It is possible that the fear of missing out, FOMO, which is heightened by social media, is something that makes this stress worse. Social media is a crucial factor in the anxiety that plagues Gen Z especially. Smartphones have radically altered the nature of social interactions and consequently mental health. Rates of teen depression and suicide have skyrocketed since 2011. It's no exaggeration to describe iGen as being on the brink of the worst mental health crisis in decades. Young people are dying from suicide at record rates. The suicide rate among people aged 10 to 24 increased 56% between 2007 and 2017.
So yes, you can see that Generation Z is wonderful or even more extraordinary, but at the same time, we still have some weaknesses that need to be improved. We luckily grow up in the technology era, or we have more opportunities than our predecessors. Therefore, it is the onus that on us to better ourselves and contribute to the family and the society. I think it's not an easy task, but by maintaining our strengths and learning from our mistakes, we have the confidence to
Pursue my dream.
Follow volunteer projects.
Become a successful entrepreneur.
Protect the environment.
Make the world a better place.